Hi everyone, welcome to Brown Girls Happy Hour and happy long weekend. Today we are going to be discussing a very amazing topic. We're going to be discussing Bollywood movies today. And I'm going to wait for Daman to join before we get started. Um, we're also going to be making a new cocktail, which I would like to say it's our recipe, but I'm not making any promises. So, hi,
Hello,
Dama. How are you?
good. How are you?
I am good. I'm excited for today's discussion and also for the cocktail.
Oh, yeah, let's try this. I'm not so sure about the recipe, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. No, but I made the recipe, so it has to be good.
Oh, you missed my dig totally, but it's okay.
Okay, should we start before getting into the discussion about Bollywood movies?
Oh, yeah. So we have decided to name this cocktail Bollywood Toh Pagal hai. And to make
Yes.
this, you need a glass, and we'll start by adding a shot of vodka and around half a shot of lime or lemon juice. And then we are adding simple syrup.
I have this lime and rose something, so I'm going to put that
Oh,
into the syrup.
fancy.
Yeah.
And
It's really
then
good. It's good too.
some ginger beer or ginger syrup if you have. And here's the exciting twist on this. Now you have to top it off with some ice cream. I have vanilla ice cream here, so I'm just gonna
Vanilla
add
ice
it on the top.
cream. So excited. It's like a slush or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about
I,
this yet.
I actually made this by accident, I made this
Really?
drink last weekend and I was like, this is lacking some more sweetness to it. So
Okay, so
I wanted to have ice cream.
I'm mixing it now. Yeah, it kind of looks like a slush.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
It's good.
It's good, right?
Yeah, I
I mean,
take
it's a
my
little bit
doubts
sweet, but
back.
you can, yeah. I can be a bartender. That could be like something that I do.
Your new side gig.
What?
Your new
Yes,
side
that's
gig.
my new side gig. Yes, yes. I'm going to be a bartender post-COVID. Mm.
All right, so
Okay.
let's start. Since this drink is called Bollywood to Pagal Hai, I think it's fitting that the first movie we discuss is Dil to Pagal Hai.
Yes. Let's discuss Dil to Pagal Hai.
You want to tell a little bit about the movie first?
Sure. Yeah. So I'll give a background. I mean, a short summary of what the movie is. I feel like it is a love triangle that is yeah, it's a love
There's
triangle, right?
nothing else.
Yeah, there's nothing else. How, oh my God, how is it just a love triangle? How is a 3-hour movie
I
based on just
know, there's nothing else, like story-wise. Yeah, they dance a lot, but that's about it.
exactly.
I think it
But
also
maybe,
becomes like a square towards the end, like when Akshay Kumar gets in.
yeah. Yeah, it is a love square. Love square, sorry, not a love triangle. A little more complicated than, a love triangle, maybe. Yeah.
Now I feel so pathetic watching that long movie. There's nothing else in it. No plot lines.
Yeah, I think it was just like for just like fancy dances, fancy costumes, Shahrukh Khan, Madhuri Dixit, and
Yeah.
just that. A little
And
bit of misogyny, sexism,
of
and yeah,
course, the
you have your
typical trope, right?
Bollywood
Where
movie.
it's like the guy goes for the obvious choice of the sanskari girl, and
Yeah.
like the girl who's slightly modern by Indian standards is not the choice for him. And she's just this sad person who fell in love and then nobody loves her back.
I know. And have you seen like the to depict that, Madhuri Dixit is more sanskari than Karishma Kapoor, they have actually chosen clothes to be that difference. So how Madhuri Dixit is depicted like wearing like suits and and Karishma Kapoor is like wearing like those what do you call it? Like leggings and
Just skirts,
coats.
sometimes skirts, just
Yeah.
like regular people clothes, I think.
Yeah. And it is
It's
so weird.
it's crazy though, like in Bollywood, sanskar has nothing to do with your actual value system, your morals, nothing. It's all your clothes, which is
Of course.
also highly ironic in this movie. Like even the sanskari clothes were, I don't think they were sanskari at all.
Yeah, Madhuri Dixit, like all transparent, everything's visible. Just because she's wearing a dupatta,
Also,
everything's forgiven.
like which suit has a midsection showing? Who decided to like make that? So she was basically wearing a bra and then like a skirt at the bottom. That's how I see it. And with like a dupatta, just to say.
Yeah, and that's how she was more sanskari. And also because maybe it was also because she was dreaming about her lover boy who's gonna come on on the top of a horse. That's how you're supposed to be, I guess.
I
And
don't know.
and then there's another dialogue in the movie which I remember that says, हम हिंदुस्तानी लड़कियां हैं हमारे लिए हमारा प्यार कोई और चुनता है वी डोंट लाइक so
Oh my
basically we
God.
don't find the love of our lives someone else finds like our parents or our relatives find the boy for us or something like that so that is how sanskars are basically depicted
But that
how
didn't really happen in the movie though. They keep contradicting all that, right? Like this reminds me of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, where he's like, we fall in love once and we marry once, and like he falls in love twice, he marries twice. So, and this was like the biggest dialogue of the movie.
yeah I know yeah but well and so what's the next movie that we're discussing today?
Oh, we have to discuss after this since we are all like sanskar and stuff. Hum saath saath hai.
Oh my God! हम साथ साथ हैं. Okay, so who's around? Okay, do you want to give an overview of हम साथ साथ हैं?
Oh my God. It's basically a story of a gigantic family, which is
Yeah,
like there's this
celebrating things.
yeah, like three kids, and then they have like multiple weddings happening throughout the movie. And then
Yeah,
there's like a slight hiccup where the stepmother gets scared of like the property division, and then they make up in the end and happy ending. I guess that's
yeah.
it.
That family is in like a perpetual celebration mode. I feel, and just
I
one
know.
bad thing happens, and then everything's broken up. How stupid!
No, nothing actually happened if you think about it. There was anticipation of something happening,
Yeah, that's so
which
true.
is why they're like, okay, let's move out. And then they're like, okay, let's move back in. And then the movie ends.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually, confusing Hum Saath Saath Hai with another Madhuri Dixit and Salman Khan movie,
हम आपके
in
है
which,
कौन?
yes, Hum Aapke Hai Kaun. I was confusing those. Okay, yeah, Hum
Yeah,
Saath Saath Hai, I
same
remember
stuff.
now.
I think हम साथ
Yeah.
साथ has worse somehow. Like they just took it to another level. Like it's हम आपके है कौन on steroids.
Yes. Yeah, that's so true.
And the
Um,
funniest thing is the most decent guy in that movie is played by Salman Khan.
you,
I
you
feel
know,
like
you're so
that's
right.
like so ironic.
Like, and have you seen it? Like, even the most decent guy, Salman Khan, the way they have shown it, how he feels for the poor people. He'll see a poor person and he'll just get into this depressing state. Like, I'm like, who does that? Do something, damn it. Like, can't you
Okay,
do
I don't want
something?
to get killed, but I remember this scene where it's like Salman Khan feels bad for people sleeping on the footpath on roadside. Okay, I
That's
I
not
don't want to
good.
say any more on this.
And then yeah. I can make so many, inappropriate jokes right now, but I won't.
Yeah, let's do it offline. I fear for our
Yeah.
lives on this topic.
Yeah.
You know what my
Salman
favorite
Khan.
dialogue is in the movie where they all the men sit and eat and they're like, "Oh, a good house or a happy house is where men sit and women serve us food." And everyone is like,
Yes.
"Yay!"
I don't know why that family does yay all the time. Who does that? Which family does that?
I know, so much celebration. And you remember that orientation video or not orientation performance for the new bride where they're like, "Oh, this is how we will introduce you to the family."
Yeah,
Actually, I was
that
really impressed by that as a teenager. I have to
me
admit
too.
that. I was like,
Me
this is
too.
this is how you do it.
Yeah, I was like, I want this when I go and get married to someone.
I know. Such a disappointment right after that.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, Hum Saath Saath Hai was totally, like the peak of sexism and misogyny in movies. Like the
Really?
way they have depicted.
Have you
Yes, it is.
forgotten Viva?
What? Oh yeah, Vivaah. Oh my God, that movie, I recently watched that movie. I
Why?
don't know why I did that to myself. But I remember, yes, Vivaah is probably the peak of misogyny and sexism. But yes, let's talk about Vivaah.
You want to give a summary since you recently watched it?
Okay, so Vivaah is about a very, like, the peak of sanskari, this person, this girl, who's like, no one can be more sanskari. She's at a competition to be the most sanskari girl in India. And so she is, and it's about like her getting married, like this guy who's also
Well,
very sanskari. Both of them
the
are competing to be more
title kind
sanskari.
of gives it away, right? It's Viva,
Yeah.
which is wedding. That's it. That's the entire movie.
Yeah. And in the end, what happens is that, oh, first of all, like, okay, we'll get into the detail, but I guess in the end, they just get married out because, like, even though, like, the girl gets, um, I mean, some part of her gets burned or something in a fire or something.
Yeah, there's a
And
fire in the
then,
house and she
yeah,
saves someone, something. That I don't remember
yeah.
it too well. You should
But the
remember, you
guy,
watched it.
yeah, I remember it. And then the guy is like, no, I will still marry her. And then everyone's like, oh my God, this guy is
So
like Bhagwan.
great. A
Oh my
guy who's
God.
marrying a girl he promised to marry. Like, so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. But also,
I know.
so in Vivaah, have you seen how this, first of all, this girl, uh, so Amrita Rao's sister, um,
Yeah, she's
she,
like a dark-skinned
yes,
cousin, right?
but in
And
real
that,
life she's fair and she's,
yeah,
portrayed to be dark skinned
yeah,
and so much, I don't know, like, how do you call it? Colorism in that movie. Oh my
definitely.
God.
Like that was the entire contention point, right? Like how her cousin's mom was always jealous because her own daughter is dark-skinned and like this main lead is fair in comparison. And that remained the main point of why she she will just hate on the fair-looking girl.
Yeah,
Now
right,
that we
right.
distill movies, I think like how is this like a plot time?
I don't know. And also, again, like, I mean, yeah, she's fair. Her stepmother hates her for that. But also, like, why do they have to make her like so, good at heart? Like, isn't it? I mean, if a stepmother hates you, you are allowed to be like bitter towards her also, right? Like, you can't be that good. Like, no one is like that is unattainable standards, dude.
Well, we can't relate. We are not sanskari, Khyati. Only sanskari girls know how to do that.
Yeah, we are opposite of Sanskari. Oh God, that's why we are not into Bollywood, Like that's we'll be the vamp in the Bollywood.
Don't say that. You just watch Viva. You can't say that.
Yeah. And also again, Shahid Kapoor, he's also like, like a weird character, I feel like. He's a
A
weird
super
character.
nice guy. Both of them don't talk, if you remember, right? In the movie, they don't really
Yeah.
talk to each other. They are getting married, and just because they're sanskari, they'll talk through others. And like I
Yeah.
remember like some weirdness like that.
And also that girl doesn't even like yell once to her boyfriend. Like I mean, Yell to chodo. She doesn't even talk properly. She like whisper. Like who talks like that? Like she'll be like, "Money, nahi, pani mein nahi, jal." Like you know.
Okay, you pay too much attention to this movie, clearly.
I just watched it. It's so fresh in my mind.
Oh my God, I'm gonna say Jal from today onwards.
And how
But
about
like
yeah,
Shahid Kapoor is so different in this movie, like this very nice guy and like extra nice, right? And then you
yeah.
see Kabir Singh, which is another movie of his, right? And you're like, oh God, like this is like such a like hateful personality.
Oh God, hateful. And boy, the most stupid thing about Kabir Singh is that some people are like they don't understand what the movie is about. And
Oh,
it's
you want to
like
tell what the movie is about?
sure. So I'll tell from my perspective, like from our perspective, of course. So the movie is about this extremely dysfunctional human being, um, who, according to the society, is a genius, and but he does all of these criminal things, and he's just, supposed to let go. Like, he's just like surviving in the society, just like, just living in the society like he's a normal person, I guess. That's the movie, right? But also a
Yeah,
love story, like.
oh, please. I don't know if that should be called love. I'm like very scared of
Huh,
people
I
thinking
agree.
that that is love.
That's the story of abuse where people don't know that it's abuse. People
Yeah,
confuse love for abuse, I guess,
yeah. I
or
guess
abuse for love.
it can be a good cautionary tale if people are
Mhm.
willing to listen, but people sadly are not. They are like glorifying that character so much because they're like, oh, yay, a complicated character. And I'm like, do you understand what complicated means? This is just an angry
Yeah,
person romanticized on screen. You can't call this a complicated character. There's no character building happening throughout. He's the
yeah,
same from like, yeah, maybe he was a little sad towards the end, but like he still is the same person, more or less.
yeah. He still is the same person. He's addicted to alcohol, to maybe even to drugs, I
Drugs, he
think.
also does drugs.
Yeah, and no one is like trying to help, like even like trying to, put this thing into his mind. Or maybe they're trying, but he doesn't listen. But the way they're trying is also very weird, right?
Oh, please.
Like,
Yeah. One of the friends is like, oh, your life is not on track or something. Why don't you marry my sister? Like, that's a solution. Nobody cares for the sister's life. They're like, yeah, she's just hanging around. No use.
yeah,
Just like,
there's the side, right? Oh, Sam Khan replied and operates on humans under the
influence. Yeah, he does that.
influence. Yeah, yeah, he does that, right? Yeah, like and then also like he's just no one, like everyone is like still, like putting all their hopes on him in the sense that, he's not like abandoned from the society. Like he's still like a very much
He
part of the
won't be,
society.
dude. He managed to become a doctor. Imagine the accomplishment. Like, who can think of becoming a doctor, right?
As if like, becoming a doctor or being like the best football player in your university is like, if you're all of those things, then you're just forgiven of everything else that you do in your life.
I think being a
Like,
man forgives them of a lot anyway. But I
for
can't
sure.
like be okay with like how they show how they he treats house help
Hmm.
on screen. Like he like runs after her with like a knife or something, and I'm like, who does
Yeah.
that? Like what happened here? There was no situation for you to do that.
Right, exactly. And even house help, even other girls, like the girls that he's dating, the way he treats them, like what the fuck, dude? Just, I
Oh, you
mean,
remember since we started on the
yeah.
note of dupatta, right? There's a scene in this movie where her dupatta falls and he's like telling her to cover it up or something.
Hmm. I don't remember
It's
that.
actually very like college culture in India in a way, like where
Hmm.
there are guys who behave like that. So I won't say that there's no truth to that behavior, but I feel like romanticizing that on screen is very problematic because the next generation is like, oh yes, we are gonna be cool like Kabir Singh.
Next generation is already like that, you know. Like already there was this element of if boys do something, boys can do anything as long as they're good at studies. So this is the element that is so prevalent in the society, in Indian society already. And yeah, so like Kabir Singh, you know, just even bolstered that even more, I guess, you know. And people who are taking the side of, so this is creative freedom, apparently. This is not creative freedom, dude. Like, if you have, with great power comes great responsibility. If you have the power to make a movie, at least think about it, right? Like they're glorifying things like in the name of love, they're saying it's okay for a man to stare at a woman, uh, like
Slap
in
her
a given
even,
view.
abuse her family, slap her even, and
Yeah,
that's all fine. And the
exactly.
woman will come begging still. She'll be like, "Oh, please, please don't go away." Like that's kind of what they showed, right?
Right. And also the character of the girl, Kiara, that girl.
She didn't
Like,
talk throughout. She just talked in the end,
yeah,
I think. And then too, she was like crying and being like, "Oh, are you sure you want to come back?" Kind of thing.
I know. Why are women like depicted to be like these helpless creatures who are just always crying and always like in a sad mood if they don't get their love? Like we have other things to do in our lives, yeah. Like okay, heartbreaks are very sad, but I mean, no one does like that.
But maybe the Sanskari ones don't. The, who only exist in Bollywood movies, I'm sure. There are no real ones out there. But they have nothing to do in life. Even if they get married, they'll probably just cook food and serve the men in the family, right?
Right, exactly. We should, yeah, we should get. I wonder if we have all of these real life characters, like you know, in Pooja from Dil To Pagal hai, and I don't know.
Even
Um,
as a kid, I never related to like these Sanskari women. I remember we used to do this like, okay, pick a character from a movie you're watching as kids. I was like, I'm Nisha. Like I was, and it never even occurred to me I wanted to be like Pooja.
yeah, of course, because you can't be right. Like it is not realistic to put these, you know, I mean, to put these expectations on anyone. It's just
Also, I feel
not
like
realistic.
these movies are made for male gaze. Like men
Mm,
probably want like submissive girls like that. But when you're growing up watching as girls, you're like, why do I aspire to be a Pooja here? What am I getting out of that? Nisha,
right.
maybe I felt like, oh, she's cool. She dances well. Like she,
Yeah.
I didn't even like Pooja's dance to be honest. So I feel like, nothing to look forward to being this person other than that they have made her the main lead.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's true. Exactly. And I think, yeah, even in this movie, Vivaah, the other girl, the sister has a better life, right? She says what she wants to say. She does all of these fun things, and she doesn't care about the society. She doesn't give a fuck. So that's that's probably what you want to be.
I know, right? I think in all these movies, there was another movie with a love triangle. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, right? And
Mm.
like, I felt better for Kajol when he married Rani Mukherjee. I was like, okay, good riddance kind of feeling.
I
But
know,
but then
yeah.
she changes to like that whole sari look, and I'm like, why, dude? You looked so cool earlier. Like, I liked you better.
I know. Yeah, and that is also the idea, right? To be like loved by a man, you have to completely change your whole personality. Like, what the fuck, dude? I don't want to do that.
You have to start wearing. It's not about personality, to be honest. Have you ever heard any inkling of personality in these movies? No, we don't know what these women think or anything. It's just like what they wear. So if you wear a sari,
Yeah.
you are sanskari, qualified. So easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. As soon as Anjali went from wearing like a tracksuit to an amazing sari, like Rahul is like, oh my God, like she's the one for me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then they had to show the pallu is like flying in the air, like so glamorous. It didn't even look
Very,
good.
yeah. I know. But yeah, I don't think I like. Is there any movie that you actually like for like, you know, the way they have depicted the lead? I mean, I guess there are some movies that are being made now.
I like that Netflix movie. It's kind of a horror movie. I forgot the name.
Oh, you told me about it. Bulbul.
Yes, I like that one. I
Oh,
can't
I have not
remember any
seen
other
that.
movie recently.
Oh, really? Yeah, I have not seen that movie. I'll watch it now. I'll watch
Yeah,
it
it's not
today.
really horror.
Mm-hmm.
It just is like
Yeah.
portrayed as horror, and then it's all about like issues we usually talk about. I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but I like it.
Okay, I'm going to watch it now with my next drink that I'm going to make.
Enjoy your slushy. I think it's pretty good. I might make another one too.
Yeah, me too.
All right
Okay,
then. To all
so
the Pagal movies we have watched.
yes,
Cheers.
cheers.